from My News 26 and CCTV. It's high school football, coming to you this season from schools throughout the region. This 26 Sports and CCTV high school football presentation is brought to you by Wolverine Power Cooperative and Great Lakes Energy. Your local electric cooperative is looking out for you. And by Munson Healthcare Cadillac Rehab Services.
Welcome to Lake City High School on 26 Sports and CCTV's Michigan High School Football Game of the Week, taking place between the McBain Ramblers and the Lake City Trojans. I'm Derek Tate. I'm flying solo tonight as we have a battle in the Highland League. Early matchup between two teams that are 1-2 on the season. And of course, it's homecoming night here at Lake City High School. They are 1-2 on the year. They are led by head coach Kyle Smith. Coming off of, kind of to give you a recap of their season thus far, they started the season with a 54-7 loss at the hands of New Lothrop. And here come the Trojans on homecoming night here at Lake City High School. That's one of the captains there, number 32, leading the way, holding the flag for the Lake City Trojans, Bradley Burden. But again, kind of mentioned, they opened their season with a loss, but then they did rebound with two back-to-back league games, one of which they won 59-28 against Manton. And it looks like we're going to go ahead and throw it over to the public address announcer for the national anthem here in just a moment. And we'll go ahead and head over there right now as all the players are beginning to take off their helmets, and we're all facing towards the north side of the field for the national anthem.
Hey, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Lake City High School welcomes you to tonight's homecoming contest between the Ramblers of McBain and your Lake City Trojans. At this time, we ask you to please rise, remove your hats, and honor our nation as the Trojan band plays our national anthem.
Of the national anthem from the Trojan Marching Band. As we mentioned before, they did open their league play here in Highland football with a 59-28 victory over Manton, although last week they were shut out 13-0 versus Beale City. And on the flip side, the visiting McBain Ramblers, led by head coach Pat Maloney, they started the year with a 36-6 loss against Kingsley, but started their Highland League play with a 31-0 victory over Roscommon, and then lost a close one last week versus Houghton Lake, 8-6. We got a chance to speak with head coach Maloney prior to the game as we are nearing kickoff here at Lake City High School. Some Michigan high school football as we are getting some of the introductions for the Lake City Trojans. That's Joshua Shively, number 5, Jack Pedler, starting in that defensive backfield as well. And number 8, Tyler McGinnis, one of the better wide receivers for the Trojans offense. Number 9, one of the captains, a senior, that's Benjamin Marion. And also introducing at linebacker, number 33, Bradley Burden. The outside linebacker also gets some touches at the fullback spot. And Fernando Pena, also another one of the linebackers for the Lake City Trojans. Number 50, the junior, Devin Jorgensen.
Linebacker number 54, Andrew Vanderteeg.
Andrew Vanderteeg, one of the starting linebackers as well. The junior now, we go to the defensive line up front. Austin Potter, one of the big interior defensive linemen for Lake City. And speaking of big men, Rosecrans, that's Jacob, the senior, also along that defensive unit. And Elian Schichtel rounds it out, and here come the Trojans. But as we mentioned before, for the McBain Ramblers, they are 1-1. Both teams are 1-1, 1-2 on the season, but 1-1 in the Highland League. So this is a big matchup now. Last year, it was a very close game between these two squads. It came down to the very last play. There was a roughing passer that, as time expired, that put the ball right on the 1-yard line. It was Cody Vanderboss with a 1-yard touchdown run, but the 2-point conversion was no good. As the pass was broken up, it was Gavin Sealand. His pass fell incomplete, and it was the Trojans who triumphed 14-12 to barely edge out the McBain Ramblers. A little bit of history between these two teams. As you're getting a look at these squads in the white jerseys, green pants, and yellow helmets, that's the McBain Ramblers. In the red helmets, red jerseys, and black pants, that's the Lake City Trojans. And to kick it off, it's Fernando Pena. And back to receive for McBain. That's going to number 22, Caden McGillis. He receives it at the 2-yard line. And McGillis is stacked up right before he gets to the 20-yard line by a host of Lake City defenders. That's Taylor Butkovich leading the charge for the coverage unit. And here we get our first look and welcome back George Brown III, the senior quarterback. A little banged up the past couple of weeks. They got their starting quarterback back in the starting lineup. 1st and 10 for the Ramblers at the 19-yard line. Starting out of the shotgun. Give goes to Gavin Sealand. A little jet sweep. He finds the edge and knocked out of bounds by Joshua Shively. You're going to see the Ramblers offense trying to spread out Lake City to start this contest. Gain of 5. 2nd and 5 to go for McBain. And that's Rodenbaugh. He gets the call. Cuts it upfield. Hurdles over one would-be defender. Finally dragged down just past the 25-yard line. Bradley Burden on the stop for Lake City. Gain of 3. 3rd and 2 for McBain. See what head coach Maloney dials up. 4 wide receivers, 2 to each side. Brown, his first pass attempt of the game. That one high, but hauled in by Josh Hart. And that one's past the sticks, just past the 30-yard line. And that'll move the chains for McBain. And they convert their first 3rd down. Tackle by Devin Jorgensen. We saw this game go right down to the wire last year. Hot night at Lake City High School. Homecoming night for the Trojans. 1st and 10 at the 31-yard line. Trips to the right. And there's a little bit of movement prior to the snap. This one looks like it's going to be on McBain, but we'll go down to the field. And it's illegal procedure against McBain. That'll back him up 5 yards. Make it 1st and 15 for head coach Pat Maloney. Gets his starting quarterback back in the lineup. Completes his first pass to Josh Hart. Trips to the right. on 1st and 15 from the 26-yard line. Brown rolling right, in trouble, and he's going to be sacked, and the ball's on the ground. Fumble! Lake City looks to be on top of it. Somehow, Brant Bonico able to get back on top of that one for McBain. They avoid disaster. But George Brown III under siege from that Lake City defensive unit. Couldn't quite catch exactly who made the first initial contact. But a sack nonetheless and a huge loss for McBain. It's going to be 2nd and 24 from the 15-yard line. Brown's pass over the head of Gavin Sealand. That one falls incomplete, and it's going to bring up 3rd and a short bus ride for McBain. Hot night here in northern Michigan for the 26 Sports CCTV Michigan High School Football Game of the Week. They converted on their first 3rd down. This one much further back. Brown's pass complete to Rodenbaugh. He stiff arms one would-be tackler and finally dropped by Fernando Pena. He's going to be well shy of the 1st down marker, and that'll bring on the punting unit, and that Lake City defense stands strong to force a 4th and long. Sebastian Matson, the Ramblers punter, and back to receive. Backed up around his 35-yard line is Tyler McGinnis. The senior captain. Snap is handled, and a solid punt. And McGinnis is going to go ahead and let this one die, and it takes a Lake City bounce. And it's finally touchdown at the 35-yard line. Lake City will take over, and we'll get our first look at the Trojans offense. Hunter Bisball, this junior quarterback, under center for the Trojans. You're also going to see quite a bit of Jack Pedler and Benjamin Marion handling a lot of the rushing duties for this Lake City offense. And we've got a lively crowd here on homecoming night 2019 at Lake City High School. Under center is where Hunter Bisball will start. 1st and 10 to the 35-yard line. Give goes to Jack Pedler around the left side, and the Trojans defense, or the Trojans offense, shut down on 1st down. Trevor Bodie, 16 tackles. That logs number 17 on the season. Way to set that edge there for the McBain defense. Short loss in the play, bring up 2nd and a long, 10 for Lake City. This Lake City offense dropped 59 in a win against Manton, and then was shut out last week against Beale City. Need a little bit more consistency from this unit. And there's a nice spin move by Pedler, able to avoid one would-be tackler, but then dropped by Owen Bonico, the leading tackler for the Ramblers. That's his 28th tackle, solo tackle of the year. Also has 14 assists. Gain of 4. And the first 3rd down attempt of the night for Lake City. Hunter Bisball under center. Play action. He's got his fullback in the flats. That is Benjamin Marion, but he's going to be dropped just short of the 1st down marker. It's going to bring up a decision. Great tackle there by Gavin Sealand, the senior captain, coming up from the safety spot. 4-yard gain. We're going to get a look at head coach Kyle Smith and what he decides to do. And it is going to be Hunter Bisball heading back out there, and it looks like he's going to start under center. 2 tight end set, 22 personnel for Lake City. They're going for it on 4th and 4. Handoff goes to Benjamin Marion, trying to fight his way forward, dragging Rambler defenders past the sticks, and a big conversion from Lake City. Benjamin Marion One of the senior leaders, you'll see him flex out to wide receiver. He also handles a lot of linebacker duty on the defensive side of the football, and he gets the call on 4th and 3. He was targeted at the line of scrimmage, but would not be denied. We have now Lake City with a first down at the 46-yard line. Bisball. Quick hitter to Tyler McGinnis. He avoids one would-be tackler. Finally shoved out of bounds by Gavin Sealand. Looked like there was a little bit of hesitation from Bisball before he hit the quick hitter. Reading number 7, Austin Ealing. He actually returned a 95-yard interception to the house in week 2. 2nd and 7 from the 49-yard line, and the Ramblers defense denies access to Benjamin Marion. Drops him for a loss. Owen Beneco in the area again for McBain. And that loss of 1 is going to force a 3rd and 8 at the 48-yard line. .22 personnel yet again for Lake City. And the give is going to, again, be Pedler on the call. And this time Pedler fails to get to midfield. Tackle on is number 25, Owen Beneco. 1 yard gain. That's going to bring up 4th and 7 at the 49-yard line. And it looks like the punting unit is going to head out for the Lake City Trojans. Both teams able to get at least 1 first down, but the drive stall. And back to punt. Taylor Butkovich. And back to receive for McBain is Caden McGillis. A little bit of pressure applied on the punt. That one drops down and downed by number 84, Elian Schichtel. And that's where McBain will get their second possession, and with 5:19 remaining, scoreless in the first quarter here at Lake City High School. A Highland Football League matchup between the McBain Ramblers and the Lake City Trojans. And want to go ahead and take this quick moment to thank some of our sponsors for this game. Powered by and presented by Munson Healthcare Cadillac Hospital. As it's going to be Dan Rodenbaugh up the middle. Gets the call for McBain. But in the area, number 33, Bradley Burden on the stop. No gain on the play. Fox Motors of Cadillac, your local Ford and Toyota dealerships. LC Materials, the concrete experts. As we have 2nd and 10 from the 27-yard line. Handoff goes to the McBain tailback out of the wing tee. That's Gavin Sealand. Sealand does have 1 rushing touchdown on the year, 2 through the air. Gain of 2. It looks like there's going to be an official timeout. Well, we have the chance. Builder's First Source in Cadillac, your first source for flooring. Stop by and see them today. Tasty Treat in Lake City. Stop by the Tasty Treat to get your dinner before every big game. The team at the Tasty Treat is wishing the Lake City Trojans the best of luck this season. Best Demolition, your local home wrecker. They can wreck anything you need. Pancho Villa Mexican Grill in Lake City, featuring Monday specials like 5 beef or chicken enchiladas for only $5 as we pick up action. 3rd and 8 at the 30-yard line. Brown's pass, that one complete. And falling forward and still going on his feet up the right sideline. Got 1 man to beat and finally laterals it to Gavin Sealand. What a play. Touchdown, McBain. Ethan Barton with a heads-up play. Drops it off to the senior captain, Gavin Sealand, who takes it the rest of the way, and the Ramblers get on the board first. That's a 70-yard touchdown pass. And the last one that's going to get credited with the touchdown is Gavin Sealand. That's his 4th of the year. Ethan Barton breaking a couple tackles and a heads-up play with the lateral drop-off. And McBain strikes first. And the extra point attempt from Sebastian Matson. That one is good. With 4:25 remaining in the first quarter, the McBain Ramblers get on the board with a 70-yard touchdown connection. Originally, from the quarterback George Brown III to Ethan Barton, who dropped it off at the very last second with a lateral to Gavin Sealand. And McBain is on the board. Lake City Family Pharmacy and McBain Family Pharmacy for all your prescription and vaccination needs. Bowman and Rogers in Lake City, your local accounting team. McBain Building Products, your local hometown lumber yard for over 30 years with hundreds of collective years of staff experience. McBain Building would love to help with your next project. Cadillac Tire Center, your hometown tire dealer. And Pizza Plus, Cadillac's local source for pizza and sandwiches for over 50 years. And it was head coach Pat Maloney of the McBain Ramblers saying how much of a welcomed addition that senior quarterback George Brown III means to his team. And he comes up with a big pass completion, but we can't understate what Ethan Barton did after the catch, not only breaking a couple tackles, showing some speed, and then able to drop it off to Gavin Sealand, heads-up play. The lateral at the very end gets the Ramblers on the board. They lead 7-0. To kick off, Brant Bonico. Back to receive for Lake City. That one's going to be taken at the 20-yard line by Tyler McGinnis. And McGinnis able to weave through Ramblers defenders. Right around the 40-yard line, he got all the way to the 41, and that's where the second possession for Lake City is going to start with 4:17 remaining. Ramblers lead 7-0. Homecoming night here at Lake City High School. And as tradition at Lake City High School, cross-country team delivers the game ball. As it's going to be Hunter Bisball under center. Play action. Able to avoid one defender, but not two. Sack. Lucas Skolton. That's his third sack of the season. Loss of 6. That's going to back him up to the 35-yard line and bring up 2nd and long. It was on the original pressure. Trevor Bodie. Clearing the way for Lucas Skolton. And his third sack of the season. This team can get after you. Here's 2nd and 16. And that pass is complete. To number 9, Benjamin Marion. Over in the right flat. Gets back some of the yardage lost, but going to bring up 3rd and long again for the Lake City Trojans. Trojans trying to get on the board. They trail by 7 with just about 3:15 remaining in the opening quarter. Working out of the pistol is Bisball. Option left. Bisball cuts it upfield, and he is cut down to size by Owen Benico. There's a flag on the play near the line of scrimmage. And we'll get some clarification from tonight's crew. And that's going to be a chop block on Lake City. And I'm assuming that head coach Maloney is going to decline that one, as the carry only garnered about 1 yard and would bring up 4th and 10 at the 41-yard line. And indeed, chop block, and that one is going to be declined. And it's going to be 4th and long for the Lake City Trojans. You see the Lake City Trojans defense setting the edge. See some of those outside linebackers for McBain. Did a fantastic job on that pistol option left. Taylor Butkovich back to punt for the second time for Lake City. Back to receive is Caden McGillis. That's actually 54, Andrew Vanderteeg. And that one is going to take a Lake City bounce and be down to the 18-yard line, as the Ramblers will get their 3rd possession. First possession, they garnered 1 first down before punting it away. Second one, a 70-yard touchdown pass. Originally from George Brown to Ethan Barton. Laterals it back to Gavin Seelan for his 4th touchdown of the season. And that's how we've arrived at 7-0. McBain with 2:32 remaining in the opening quarter. George Brown III working out of the shotgun. Seelan slips 1 tackle, but good penetration by the Lake City defense. And that's Jacob Rosecrans. You see the big senior defensive lineman, number 71 on your screen, the Space Eater. And there is a flag on the play. And McBain returns the favor with a chop block. And this one is going to likely be accepted and push the Ramblers further back into their own territory. A lot of motion, a lot of McBain's offense working out of the shotgun, trying to spread out their opposing teams. And they've had mixed success so far this year. Here is 1st and long. That one complete to Ethan Barton towards the bottom of your screen. Tackled in the open field by Fernando Pena. Pass picks up 6 yards. Brings up 2nd and 14 from the 14-yard line, just under the 2-minute mark in the opening quarter. George Brown III working out of the shotgun, trips towards the top of your screen. Bad snap, Brown able to handle it, but he's in trouble and sacked by Andrew Vanderteeg. And that one nearly a disaster for the McBain Ramblers. A poor snap, Brown able to get his hands on it, but was immediately met by multiple defenders. Vanderteeg leading the way, and now it is 3rd and a country mile. Backed up into their own end zone is McBain. I want to go ahead and thank some of the crew here after we get the 3rd down. Working out of the wing tee. And that give to Seeland. And Seeland gives a little bit of breathing room, but ultimately that Lake City defense stands strong. And it's going to bring up 4th and 23 as we hit the 1-minute mark remaining in the opening quarter here at Lake City High School. An opportunity here for the Trojans. They may try to come after Sebastian Matson, the punter for McBain. Back to receive at the 40-yard line. Tyler McGinnis. And a good punt, another very good punt from Matson, and that one is going to go all the way into Trojan territory. Going to be down at the 46-yard line. We do see a flag down on the near side of your screen at the 40-yard line. 29 seconds remaining. We'll get some clarification on the call. Lake City Trojans are going to begin their 4th possession of this game. Or 3rd possession, my humble apologies. So far, the Lake City offense has been unable to get anything going through the air. This McBain defense, they're stout. They've only allowed 8 points over the last 2 contests. We got a 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line, and it looks like there's going to be a timeout on the field for the McBain Ramblers. Perfect opportunity to go ahead and thank some of our crew for tonight. Directing, Hannah Crouch. Handling graphics and replay, Damian Brooks. On camera run, Caden Darrow. Camera 2, Alden McCoy. And on the field with camera number 3, Robert Hunt. And look, all the DVDs available for these games here on 26 Sports and CCTV. You could order these, whether it be one game, pre-order a box set, or get the entire season. You can do so over at cctv-cadillac.org and minews26.com. And one of the better things about this broadcast is these are students. All sports are produced with cooperation between the Wexford Misaki Career Tech Center, CCTV, and MI News 26 as we return to action. 29 seconds remaining in the opening quarter. Lake City with a 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. Bisbal working out of the shotgun. Quick throw into the right flats, and he finds McGinnis. McGinnis stiff arms, or that's Benjamin Marion. Check that. Avoids one would-be tackler. Finally brought down in Ramblers territory. Gain of 9. That's going to bring up 2nd down and possibly the final play of the first quarter. Here at Lake City High School, we'll see if Hunter Bisbal tries to get one more play in before the end of the quarter. 2, 1, and that'll do it here at Lake City High School for the first quarter here on 26 Sports and CCTV's Michigan High School Football Game of the Week as the McBain Ramblers lead the Lake City Trojans 7-0. We'll have second quarter action coming right back at you on the other side.